Have you guys ever wondered what is the easiest and hardest Pokemon games? I'm GG Game, and we're going to go through every single main series Pokemon game. Now, what are the stipulations? What kind of playthrough are we talking here? This is not just a let's go or a let's play, whatever you want to call it, not just an easy playthrough. We're thinking Nuzlocke style for each game. Randomized? No. Regular Nuzlocke in each one of these games. Which one's the toughest? Which one's the easiest? Now, I will be completely transparent here. I have not beaten every single game in Nuzlocke form. One day I definitely will want to, but today, at this point in my life, I have not. So, we'll start off with... I'm actually going to go into this first one. I've never played this game, so we're going to go right here. And I actually do think Pokemon Green, which was a Japanese game, actually had some kind of weird stuff going on. So I think if you tried a Nuzlocke, like the original green version of Pokemon, I think it would actually be kind of hard. If I'm being completely honest with you, especially if you're thinking about in relationship to today's mechanics, these were some weird mechanics back then, kind of some broken things in the game. So I think if you try to Nuzlocke the game, it actually would be kind of hard. Not too much of a challenge, but kind of hard. So that's where I'm putting that one. Pokemon Blue and Red. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to say also kind of hard. I think because the difficulty in how the mechanics were in Pokemon Green before they fixed them for Red, Blue in the English and over in the United States, I think it was still kind of hard, especially like the speed stat was so crazy with the critical hits, and definitely that kind of stuff made it a little bit more difficult, and because of the kind of the lack of options in that game at times, you kind of end up using the same Pokemon, but they are pretty accessible in this game, and that's why I think this was more kind of hard, but when you get to the Pokemon Yellow version, it's kind of easy. Because if you're playing not randomized, you get all three starters on top of your Pikachu, which is, I'm pretty sure, like a really, really powerful Pikachu. If I'm not mistaken, they give you like a pretty broken Pikachu because you can't evolve. So if you end up using him in the Nuzlocke, he's actually not that bad. But then you have the three starters, Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur. You get like so many good Pokemon. Just getting all three of those starters throughout the game is pretty broken. So I think it's actually kind of an easy game to Nuzlocke. Next, Gold and Silver. Man, Gold and Silver. Pretty tough games. No abilities. So remember that in these first generations, there's no abilities, guys. You do get held item in this game. You do get some eggs, some Togepi, but you don't get, no Togekiss. It's only Togetic. It's pretty hard to get. I'm actually going to say also... Ooh, I'm trying to think of some of this game. You got Lance. You got the Elite Four. Lance is pretty difficult. I'm going to say... also kind of hard. Yeah, see, Faulkner, very tough right away. Travis, great point in the chat. That is why the chat is here. But Gold and Silver, kind of hard. That's where I'm putting it. I'm going to stick to my guns. Now, Crystal, third version. We have a lot of these third versions early on. Try to remember the biggest differences as far as the battles. I kind of want to just put it in the same. Because I'm thinking of like pretty much the overall mechanics in the game. I'm going to say also kind of hard. I think there's going to be a lot of kind of hards. Not a lot of these other ones. Ruby and Sapphire. Ruby and Sapphire. Because of Steven Stone, Ruby and Sapphire are actually kind of hard because Steven Stone is a problem in this game. So I'm actually going to say it's actually kind of a challenge. And the reason that being said, I actually put Pokemon Emerald because if you think about a normal Nuzlocke, and I'm putting that in meh, and I'm going to explain why. Because you have access to get some of these legendary Pokemon, and I think you can actually get Rayquaza before the Elite Four. I could be mistaken, so you guys can totally discredit me, but I'm totally correct. I'm pretty positive you can get Rayquaza before you actually go against the Elite Four, which basically makes the Elite Four way easier. On top of that, the champion is... what's his name? Juan? No, it's not Juan. It's Wallace. Wallace is the champion in Emerald, which completely, in my mind, like discredits how difficult the game is, especially in the end. So that's why I'm putting Emerald in meh and Sapphire in challenge, because basically, I think Pokemon Sapphire and Ruby would be in kind of hard, but because of Steven Stone, it literally just kind of makes it a little bit more difficult. So that's where I'm putting that. Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen. Because, I mean, you look at this, right? So Red and Blue, pretty difficult games. Just because of the mechanics, but they fixed a lot of the mechanics in the remakes of FireRed and LeafGreen. So they're not nearly as difficult as that first generation, especially also without having abilities like in Gold and Silver. You got abilities, makes it a little bit more easy. So Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen are definitely in the meh category. Not quite easy, because you still have some, some difficult trainers and difficult things in that game. And you know what? I actually might be second-guessing myself. Actually might be kind of easy. Might be kind of easy. We're gonna go, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? We'll go easy. I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm thinking down the line here, some of these other games. Easy. Next, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. The original Diamond and Pearl games. What do you guys think? Diamond and Pearl. What do I think? It's not about you guys. It's about mine. This is my opinion. I'm trying to think, though. Diamond and Pearl. Some of these older games. Difficult. I'm trying to think of some of this game. There are some difficult trainer battles in that, especially the that battle with the Purugly early on in that game is pretty difficult and kind of wipe you if you're not prepared for it, if you don't have good Pokemon for it, if someone has died before that. You know what? Cynthia is really, really difficult. I'm going to actually say Diamond and Pearl are actually... Oh, that is not where I meant to put it. It's actually kind of a challenge, and I'm also going to put Platinum up there as well. I'm going to put, actually, Platinum higher than Diamond, because I actually think Diamond's kind of hard, but Platinum's definitely harder. Doesn't sit here and wreck everybody. Exactly. So that's why I think, you know what? You know what? This is actually correct. This is actually correct. Diamond is a challenge. Platinum is insane. But the only thing, I'm second guessing, because guess what? We're talking about original games. You can catch the legendaries. So if you have the legendary Pokemon in your Nuzlocke, it's definitely not as bad as like a Dark Souls level game. So definitely we're thinking that way, because we're not doing like, oh, I didn't catch the legendary because I think it's not fun. No, you definitely got to catch the legendary if you're doing a Nuzlocke and you're doing just a traditional straight up Nuzlocke. So that's why we're going to go. Sticking to the guns. Second guess myself for a second there. Also, I love how Kinda Hard has the underlining red thing on it as we're doing this video. Next up is the remakes of Gold and Silver. And I actually think... Ooh, these games. We're going to go on meh. Because it's not as hard as Gold and Silver because of just having the abilities in the game. And a lot of the trainers are pretty much the same. There's a couple little random difficulty extra things, but that's where I'm putting that. Black and White. Black and White. These games... I'm trying to think of some of the battles in this game. The Elite Four is not that bad. You know... I'm looking back at this, and actually, now that I remember, in my experience, it's actually kind of tough. You know what? No, N is pretty tough in this game. N is pretty tough. Where did my Pokemon go? Black, there we go. Where were we? I actually think Pokemon Black is a challenge. Thinking about this, guys. Which was harder? You know what? This is where we're going with this. I don't have a ton of reasoning. This is how I'm going with. That's what I'm going with, guys. That's where I'm going with. X and Y. You guys can discredit all my opinions. I'm perfectly okay with that. But X and Y! You know what? It's a pretty easy game. It's a pretty easy game. Because, honestly, if you have some good megas in this game, which you can get throughout the game, it's pretty broken. It's pretty easy. So we're going to say... And the experience share was the first one that... It was the first game... As I drop my cap, and I'm not picking that up. It was the first game that had the experience share where all Pokemon got the experience when you got the experience share. And it pretty much hands you so much stuff. So definitely an easier game. It's funny, you're going to definitely look at these games, and they actually have gotten easier over time for sure. For sure. So X and Y, definitely going right there. Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, kind of the same situation. I'm trying to think of some of the hardest battles, because it's a tough game. It can be tough, because also the champion has a Mega Pokemon. Spoilers. So I'm going to say it's a little bit harder in that sense. You get the legendary in that game, and it's just insane. Yeah, honestly, X and Y might be for kids. You know what? You're probably right, but I'm gonna go here because the next games are kind of for children. But you know what? You're right. Now that I'm thinking further ahead, that's kind of it. I'm thinking even more. Pokemon X and Y is pretty freaking easy. Like, I'm pretty sure that is probably the first game I Nuzlocke that I actually beat, and I was like, wow, I didn't have any issues. And when I was in college, me and my friend did a Soul Link of the game, and I remember beating, I think it was the last 2 trainers, or maybe the last trainer in the Elite Four, or the champion in this case, Diantha, with only a Raichu, with Grass Knot, Double Team, I think Thunderbolt, and like Quick Attack. That was it, and I beat the champion because of Double Team. So definitely a game you can beat pretty easily. The only reason I put Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire up there is because Mega Pokemon, Steven's in that game, which is a tougher trainer. Yeah, and May can be tough at times as well. So that's kind of why it's easy, but definitely not quite for kids. Sun and Moon, you know, the same issue. The only thing that's kind of hard about this game is you get double teamed on with the whole, like, whatchamacallers. So we're going to go, it's kind of meh. Like, it's not quite as easy as these games, but it's definitely pretty meh. It's only meh because of the double teaming on you sometimes. The Elite Four is kind of difficult, but not to the point where you're, like, completely bombarded. Now, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, they kind of have a stupid point in the game where if you're trying to play the game normally in a Nuzlocke, you get absolutely mollywopped by unless you know it's coming, by the Necrozma, like the Ultra form. So pretty much, I actually think Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are kind of a challenge. Pretty much because of that stupid Necrozma fight, and because they still have, you know, the Pokemon that double team on you. They adjusted some of the Totem Pokemon, a little bit tougher. So I think it's going to be a challenge. It's higher than kind of hard, but it's actually kind of funny to think, like, what's a challenge and what's not a challenge. Because Platinum's definitely tough, and I think it's actually on that Platinum level. It's actually kind of on that Platinum level. We're getting to some interesting games. Pokemon, Let's Go Pikachu, and Let's Go Eevee. Guys, these games, and because I think they're so childish, both of them are going in to the games that are kind of for freaking kids. Guys, that's where we're at. That's where I'm at. That's where my opinions are. I did not really enjoy these games. Probably my least favorite main series Pokemon games that they've ever come out with. I did not like the fact that you cannot battle wild Pokemon. I did not like the fact that I believe you can't do held items, or it's either no held items or no, see, Travis, you agree, my guy. Exactly. Yeah. And it's just so easy. It's so easy to level up things. If you really care at all to beat a Nuzlocke, you're going to walk through this game. Walk through the game. And you get some even your starter, Eevee or Pikachu is just broken. It makes, has insane moves that you get throughout the game that are not used to, the Pokemon getting. You can pretty much finagle yourself to easily beat that game with probably 0 deaths, if I'm being completely honest with you. Sword and Shield is our next. This game got a little bit more difficult because of the Dynamaxing and the Charizard at the end of the game. I actually think this game is pretty tough. Yeah, that's kind of hard. You know what? It's kind of hard. It's not a challenge. These other games are tougher for certain reasons. If you can just if you know things are if you go into that game blind with a Nuzlocke, you would know Leon has a Charizard. You got to prepare for it, have a rock type or whatever, and you can kind of finagle it with some protects and things like that. So I think, kind of hard, but not quite a challenge. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Well, guys, we did a playthrough, if you guys are not familiar on this channel, where we did a no Pokemon Center run. And it's not a Nuzlocke. But man, the only reason this game is even kind of hard, excuse me, is because of Cynthia. It's literally only kind of hard because of that core reason itself. And man, guys, it's kind of hard not to explain. Or it's kind of hard not to admit that if you try to Nuzlocke Pokemon Legends Arceus, you're gonna have a bad time. I only did it for a very short amount of time just to kind of see how it would go. And if you're Nuzlocking that game and you get some not great encounters, you are gonna have a rough time in that game, especially later in the game. Now the thing of it is you can kind of finagle it so you're not battling a ton of things. And I'm trying to think, what you beat the Nuzlocke by the time the credits roll. So some of those like post-game battles that you have that are really, really tough, you don't have to do for a Nuzlocke. But if you're just like going into that game, it's tough, and you get caught in some bad situations, it is tough. So I'm going to say, yes, Pokemon Legends Arceus is indeed a Dark Souls level game. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic when it comes to it actually being Dark Souls level, because I'm not someone who's beaten a Dark Souls game. If you guys want me to play a Dark Souls game, you're not going to see it because I'm so unbelievably bad at those games. But I've heard it's absolutely insane to play those games, and the I have beaten a few bosses in one. I think it was Dark Souls 1. It's a tough game, but the endorphin rush that you get when you beat a boss after battling it for a freaking billion times is absolutely amazing. I actually just watched a video not too long ago. Ludwig did a video with the new Elden Ring game, which is the new Dark Souls game, essentially made by the same company. And he did it where he played through the entire game, streaming it without stopping the stream. And now he went to bed and things like that. And it took him, I think he had like hundreds and hundreds of deaths. I would be like thousands of deaths. And it would take me weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to beat this game, but like that. So not watching that. But guys, this is the tier list. Check it out. What's Dark Souls level for a Nuzlocke version of the game, and what's kind of easy, and what's kind of pretty much a game for kids. Pokemon X and Y, easily the easiest game out of everything. Exactly. Not many games. You know, obviously these games are not impossible, right? Dark Souls is not impossible. You know, things like that. So Pokemon Legends Arceus is not impossible to beat. You could easily finagle it if you just try to do it. But if you're just casually playing through the game, trying to Nuzlocke it in kind of the traditional way, it is going to be a tough road. So this is the official list. This is where we're at. Hopefully you guys liked the video today. Comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Why is a game easier in your opinion? Why is it harder in your opinion? I'd love to have some, comments and discussion in the chat, or in the comments, I should say. If you guys like this, definitely subscribe. I also have to say, Scarlet and Violet, I would say, are going to be Pokemon games. Will they be harder? I hope they're harder. We want a difficulty level. That is also why I put Black and White 2 at that challenge. I totally forgot to cut that into the video. But there's the challenge mode. You got to incorporate that into the Nuzlocke if it's actually a challenge. That's why I say challenge for challenge mode. It was a challenge. Thanks for watching, guys. I just totally rambled at the end of this video, but hopefully you guys liked the video. If you guys like this kind of video, definitely let me know. We'll like it, and we'll keep doing some of them. I got to have some different ideas for tier lists, and we'll come back. I have some kind of meme tier list that we want to do in the future, so definitely let me know if you guys are enjoying these videos down in the comments, and until next time, GG.